So as you can tell from the title, I'm going to do a oil change on the bike today. It does need doing. I done it about a year ago. I haven't done loads of miles, but even if you haven't done loads of miles, it's good to do it once a year at least, as most of you know, I'm sure. As you can see, I've took a couple of these clamps off because they're a bit awkward to show anyway. There's two at the bottom and there's one at the side. Just get yourself a flathead screwdriver, put it into the slot, twist it, it pops out, and just sort of twist it and pull, and that'll come out easy. And as you can see, these are really old and tatty from the years of riding about, and these being pulled on and off for maintenance and all that. So I did actually buy 3 of these quite a while ago now. Now, and the next time I do this, I was going to replace them. At the same time, I bought a new sump plug and washer, so I know that's all good. And obviously, the new filter, K&N, same as I usually use, they're cheap enough. And we've got to get this belly pan off, at least this side. I may have to take the other side off as well. There's only 3 screws, 2 little ones there and one bigger one there with a big washer on. I have actually pre-loosened these. So you can see this one's, there is a little nylon washer on the other washer. I can't remember what they call these ones. So you remember that one's for the bottom one. It's quite easy to remember that anyway. Let's take these 2 off as well. As you can see, it's starting to come away from the bike a bit already. I will have to stop filming in a minute, but you won't really notice that. I'll just cut to the next bit, but I'm going to have to take this off and then I'm going to have to start the engine. I did go out on the bike earlier, but it has actually cooled down now, so I'm going to start the bike, let it run for a few minutes or so, just to warm it up enough to help the oil drain a bit quicker. Some people say you don't need to, well, don't necessarily need to, but it will make it drain quicker. That's just about it. Feels like it's out, but I don't want to pull it just in case. There you go. Let's see if we can actually get that off without taking the other one off. Yeah. Just have some little tabs on the bottom. There's some tabs on the top bit here that are just a little bit fiddly. Just wiggle it about a bit. Eventually they'll just come off. It's the tab out, and you can see there's a couple of well nuts in, rubber well nuts. They have a little bit of metal for the thread inside. You could replace these, but they should be okay. Just replace them now and then if they get a bit funny and stuff. Just set that aside. The whole bike does need a good clean. It hasn't had a proper clean in a while, but I'll do that soon. I'm just going to clean off that. Actually forgot to bring something to clean it with other than the tissue, but that will do for that. Don't know if you can see that there, but the level is just above the lowest part, but I'm on a paddock stand here, so I could take that, or just remember that's just a 3-4 millimeters above the line with the paddock stand on. So you want it on flat ground really, and not on the paddock stand. When it's not on the paddock stand, it is about halfway between the 2 lines. And you want it on as flat ground as possible, but I know I can filter to about there or slightly over, because then once you've filled it to where you think that's okay, you then start the bike, run it for a few minutes or so, let it warm up and do a circulation and fill up the new filter. You don't have to fill them before putting it on, because that'll just happen naturally anyway. Just recheck the level again after you turn the engine off, leave it a few minutes or so, recheck, top up if necessary. That should be warm enough. I'm just going to put a couple bits of folded up tissue each side just to protect that, even though I'm not going to clamp too hard. There's some pin those pliers. See, it took no effort at all really, so I don't know why I couldn't do that with my hands then. But now we can remove that, took me. Just check. Yeah, it's warm but not hot. So what I'm going to do, I might just make this up a bit smaller. going to put a bit of cardboard between the exhaust and the drain bolt, because otherwise you get oil all over your exhaust. I'll do the same where the filter goes as well. Just saves on a bit of the cleaning up. Although that does need a good old clean up. There's a bit of corrosion came all over it, but that'll happen. It's funny how we worry about that much more on our motorcycles than we do our cars. If you look underneath your car, it's going to be absolutely full of rust. There you go, that's cracked. Once it's cracked, you don't need that anymore. Actually, put my gloves on. That don't matter if I spill a bit on my fingers so much. I'm not too bothered about it getting on my fingers, but the main thing is cleaning it off can be a pain. Even if you've got swole feet and stuff, which I have not. You can use a bit of salt as we do. It doesn't matter if it gets on there, but that did come off. I don't mind if a bit gets on there. Now obviously we just let that drain away until it's not draining anymore, or not much more. Might as well take that away. It's not going to get on there so much now. And on this bike, the torque setting for the drain bolt is 30 Newton meters. The filter is 15 Newton meters, I believe, 15 or 18. That'll be around that. We'll just leave that a little while more to drain. Don't think much more is going to come out of there. I'm not going to bother about taking it off its stand and stuff and wobbling it about and that. I don't think that's going to really be a lot. You can feel there's quite a bit in there, and that was pretty much empty. I might have to just put a bit of tape on there to hold it in place. Right. Luckily they made these, which makes sense of course. The exact same size, which is a 17mm for both of them. Canon being smart, eh? So you can see that's going all over the thing. Cardboard. Very nearly went onto the exhaust then, but it's just in the perfect spot. And it feels like it's off. Just pull it away and empty it. I always use, or have been using at least, Mobile Super 2000, 10 watt 40, 10 weight 40, whatever it is again. It's just CW, and I've just built a PC, so I said what by accident. Semi-synthetic. Get a bit of clean oil on my finger and just put that around the rubber gasket of the filter. And all we got to do is screw that on. I mean, with air filters, when I trained as a mechanic, I used to always say, stir them up as tight as you can with your hands, and that's as much as it needs to be. But in the Haynes manual it actually says Kawasaki recommends to torque it to spec. You can get special tools for them, or obviously nowadays you've got these sort of filters with the bit on the end for you to use a spanner or thingy. Socket. I haven't got a small torque wrench. I don't think mine goes small enough, so I'm just going to have to be careful. Not tighten it too much, and after some runs I will just check for leaks, you know. Turn that off around there, that should be alright to take that off. Ooh, just knocked it. Let's give that a quick wipe. Look at the knee. There we go. Again, this is supposed to be 30 newton meters. Add the thing on that. Again, I'm going to just do it by hand, recheck if there is any leak later down the road. That should do that. I can retighten it, but that should be fine. Like I say, I've never had a problem before, and I've never torqued them up. I've never, well, hardly ever replaced the washers and the bolts. But I thought with this time, because they were cheap, and I bought them when I bought the clips for the fairings. So now all we need to do is top it up. I've got a little over 3 litres, so I want to be a little more over 1 once I'm done. So I'll tape off that thing, off that bit of cardboard. I've put, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll put that on roughly where I think I'll need to be. And we'll keep an eye on this as well, and wait for us about 4 mil over the bottom line. Then I'll run it, recheck it, and after another little run, after I go put petrol in sometime, and that I'll keep checking it periodically for the next few rides or so, just to make sure it's still okay. Again, checking for leaks and stuff at the same time. Just gotta hold on to that as well and be careful. That soon jumps up and goes higher, but that's settled out. Keep checking now and then on the bottle how much is going. Nose to go yet. About another litre to go. I'm going to leave that there. You see that slowly settling and coming down. And we'll just leave that to do that for a bit. And the filler cap has got a little rubber washer all the way around. Check that, make sure it's all clean and not perishing in any way, breaking up, dried out or anything. Just put a little bit of oil on that and that'll help seal it as well. That's why it was so tight and I couldn't get it off by hand like I have done before. Just let that settle for a bit longer. That will be a bit high, that's probably fully settled now actually. I think I'll need some more in there as well. That'll drop down when I start the engine, it runs around and gets it pumping around with the oil pump and filling up the oil filter. Let's put just a little bit more in there and then we'll do that. And all it is putting everything back on, which is very simple, just observe, taking everything off. Okay, catch that. Nice camera finger, and that will be enough. Let's give it a little wipe down. Take the gloves off and we'll start the engine again. Then we'll put the fairings back on. Now again, all we need to do is wait a few minutes for it to settle down again. I'll just stop the camera and then we'll finish off. The moment at least, looks like I got really lucky and it's pretty much in the exact spot it was before we started. The level of the oil that is. So I will put everything back together now, and what I will do, as I think I've mentioned already, after every ride I'll recheck that. If it needs topping up, I'll top it up. As long as it's between these two lines, the low and top, that's okay. And like I say, when it's lower down, it actually does show a little higher. But this is exactly where it was showing when it was sitting on a paddock stand as it is now. I will recheck again when I clean everything up and get it down again. And now I'm going to put this on. You've just got to get this tab in here. I don't know exactly how well you can see that. I've got to check the screen if I lift that up a little. The tab there, just got to push that in there. There's another one on the front here as well. I don't know if you can quite see that. Just got to wiggle it about till it sits in place. Let's try and see. So you can see that's going in there fine. It's just this side for some reason. I don't know why it's not sitting where it should do. Yeah, just behind there is a little bracket as well, which I couldn't see from the top, so there's another bracket holding something else. On the other side you can see it. If you've got one of these bikes, you just look down on the left hand side. You'll see a little bracket where it doesn't really need it really, but because it doesn't screw into it, it's just this walnut, and that sits between that and this fairing, and the screw screws into this walnut, and the end of the screw, and I suppose the bit of the walnut will go into that, but I suppose it just stops vibration or something. Just make sure it goes between them, otherwise it sits funny. Right, let's get them in there. Hold it back a bit and pull it towards it, and then lift the front up. But then go, Buddy! Buddy! My dog's getting pissed off now. So that's what we're trying to do, all that at the same time. And now I've pulled that fairing away from something. Gonna have to just move you a bit. The top fairing has got a little rubber grommet that goes into that top bracket. Just double check that's in the right place. Lift it all up. That's it, sitting properly. Just got to pull that back in there. That in place. These back on. Try and make sure the little slip bits that you put the screwdriver in the face in this way to make your life easier next time you do. Even then here, they take a bit of pressure to push the bit in. Like I say, when you first take them off, you just put the screwdriver in, twist it so it lifts this bit out, then you just pull them out. Putting them in, you put this side in. Push that through the hole so they sit flush like that, and you just got to press that in, just like that. Just make sure the slip bit is facing the sides to make it easier next time you need to take them off. You can just get to it nice and easy with a screwdriver. Oops. Same on the bottom too. Now we can actually finish properly. Start a little bit. I've just put that bottom left one in, just turned it one bit just to hold it in. We're now going to try and get these stuck down the hole to make sure they're lined up. And once these are done up, the job is all done. Nice and simple stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it can be of help to you, especially if you got this bike or one similar. I know a lot of people like to watch these mountain videos just for fun. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll be going out on some more big rides and stuff soon as the weather's warming up. Got the MOT coming up for this next week. Hopefully it'll go through. I'm happy with everything. Just a little worried about the actual MOT station because they gave me an advisory for my brakes saying they were juddery under heavy braking. At the time I noticed none of that, and yes, I have had to do some heavy braking a little bit now and again, and I did test it out after they said that. Didn't notice anything because what that would be warped brake discs, and they're expensive, 180 quid each for some decent ones for this. Just the discs, then there's pads you need to get really, but hopefully I'll just test it and it's much better because now I've got new tyres on. I topped up the fluid and put the gasket on properly because I found out that hadn't been put on properly by whoever serviced it before I got it, and I was riding around for a while with spongy brakes thinking that just needed bleeding, but now they're really sharp, and I did try hard braking and they seem fine, so fingers crossed that'll pass their test. They're only a little garage, so I don't know if they've got a proper rolling wheel for testing them or not. I don't know how they do it otherwise. So I don't think they really do road tests for the MOT for bikes. I really don't think they do. Anyway, that's all done. Thanks for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you find it helpful. I'll see you again soon.